Hello and welcome to WeBuyAnyMotorcaravan.com. Here today we've got a demo video of the 2008 Autotrail Tracker EKS. The EKS is the slightly longer version of the EK. You get about an extra 30 to 40 centimetres, which gives you that extra space inside. It is built on the Fiat Ducato 2.3 litre engine, and it has a gross weight of 3.5 tonnes, which means it can be driven on a standard car licence. So as we move alongside the passenger side of the vehicle, first up you've got your diesel infill just behind the passenger door. Underneath the locker, which has got a key under there to lock, you've got your two gas tanks fitted. Now this motorhome has been upgraded to the gas flow system, so when you do want to fill up the gas, just go to any affiliated fuel station and fill up in there. Just follow the instructions that you get at the fuel pump. Really simple once you've done it a couple of times. Next up along here, you've got a side storage locker. This is underneath one of the bench seats within the motorhome. But it's ideal just for keeping any bits and bobs that you can access obviously from inside the motorhome by lifting up the bench seat, or from outside, so whether it's your gas leads or your mains hookup, anything like that, easy to go. And that just locks in there. We have got a full length awning, which we'll get to a bit later on in the video. And underneath there is an awning light as well, which is controlled from inside. Again, when we get to the control panel, you will see how that operates. A couple of vents here for the fridge system, the Dometic fridge, which is on the inside. Habitation door, electric step. There is a button just inside the door which will operate the electric step, and if you forget to put it back in when you turn the engine on, that will go back in automatically. You don't really want to be driving off and leaving that out and dragging anything with you. Finally, along this side, we've got your water inlet, and then you've also got an external gas point. Excellent for those summer nights when you've got the awning out, have a little gas barbecue, perfect. Okay, at the rear of this Autotrail Tracker EKS, you've got your reversing camera, which has got its own screen inside. You've got a tow bar, which has been fitted afterwards. You've also got, under this storage compartment here, you have got a spare tyre. The only thing you'd have to think about when you do have to use this on the unfortunate occasion is because the tow bar has been fitted, it won't open as normal. But the hinges have been altered on here, so you've just got cable ties in there. If you do have to take it off, clip off the cable ties, make sure you've got a couple of spares in the motorhome with you at all times, and that will just slide out of place. Finally, at the rear of the motorhome, you have got here your, being just underneath the water tank, you've got your freshwater waste drain there. So you've got a yellow lever, push that round, and you can see that can start to empty out there, and then close it back up and it shuts it off. As we move along the driver's side of this Autotrail Tracker EKS, coming from the rear of the motorhome, the first thing you come across is this little door here. Now this is for the Thetford Cassette toilet system. You'll see underneath there you've just got a yellow lever. Now before you try and open this, one of the main things to check inside is that the lever is shut across on the toilet system. Again, when we get inside the motorhome, I'll show you where that is. Otherwise it won't open properly. So lift that up and that slides out. You've got your nozzle there to turn, unscrew the lid and empty it out. When you are emptying it out, you have got a little button on the back, just to let a bit of air get in, help everything drain out easily. Before closing it back up, what you need to make sure is they recommend about half a litre of fresh water to go back into this system here. You can also then put your chemicals in for cleaning, either straight into here, or you can get your tablets which go straight into the toilet system. And then that simply just pushes back in until you hear it click shut. And that closes up there. Next up, we've got an external shower point. Again, really handy if you've been out on a muddy walk, or if you've got the dogs or kids, anything you want to hose down, really easy to do rather than traipsing mud all the way through the motorhome. And then you've got your trim vent for the radiator system there. Next up along here, we've got the mains hookup point. So say we've got this plugged in at the minute. Really easy to unplug. You've got a little blue lever there, hold that down and that just slides out, and then you've got the 3 pins. Just make sure it slots over easily and it clicks into place there. And then lastly, on this side, we've got another locker. Again, there's a little key which opens it on both of these sides, and this is where you've got your 2 leisure batteries. And this motorhome as well has got the has had 2 brand new leisure batteries fitted on there. And you'll just see, if I scoot back a little bit, you've got a grey drainage pipe there. This is for your wastewater, and there's a lever underneath, which again will just empty it out really easy. You'll find at most campsites when you go to it is really well signposted where the wastewater needs to be drained out. In case you drive over, normally some kind of a ditch or a drainage system. Empty that out. Once it's all gone, close it back up and you're free to drive off. Okay, so as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we have got a full-length awning along the passenger side of the vehicle. You've got your awning pole, which is stored under one of the bench seats inside. Slot that in there nice and easy, and then really simple, turn this. This one actually comes out relatively easy as well and quite quickly. For its age, as along with the rest of the motorhome, it's in brilliant condition. And you'll see as you're turning it, there are a couple of arms that just extend out there. So once you've extended the awning out, you've got a little flap just on the other side. Lift that up and then you've got access to the legs on either side. Really simple, just push them in and then that drops down into place. You can extend these legs as well to suit. There's a couple of holes in the bottom to put your tent pegs in, and when you've got it the height that you want at, lift that up, locks it into place. There you go. So now we're inside this Autotrail Tracker EKS, the EK standing for kitchen, which you can see here. As I mentioned earlier, the EKS is slightly longer in length than the traditional EK, which is just nice. You get a bit extra room towards the rear and an extra large work surface on this side as well above the fridge. You've got a storage cupboard in there with a couple of shelves. You've got your 3-way fridge. Really simple to work this. Let's say you've got 3 options. You can either have it completely off, turn it once, and the light will come on and you can hear that click that is now working off the gas. So depending on what site you're going to, if you're off the grid, then you're going to want to make sure that it's running off the gas. Alternatively, if you're going to a site where you've got your electric hookup, you can turn it and run it off the mains, save on the gas, and then you've got your battery underneath. Now this is only to be used off the vehicle battery when you drive in the motorhome. It won't work when all the engine is turned off on that. So when you're using the fridge, when you're parked up, it's either off the mains or off gas. And if you want to turn it off, just turn it all the way around. And then this knob on the right hand side is for your temperature gauge. So the further around you go, the colder the fridge is. And then you've got your lock system on here to lock it, just to make sure obviously when you're driving it's not going to fling itself open. Open that up and you're good to go. So the main end kitchen now. See, first of all, you've got 2 really decent sized overhead lockers. Working our way down, we've got your sink here. There are a couple of covers which go over the top, which they can be used as covers or they can be doubled up as a chopping board. Just a little jigsaw to slot them back into place there. Move along underneath here. Got even more storage. You've got a cutlery drawer which slides out there. And then again another really decent size cupboard underneath. Let's move around now. We've got the oven, grill and hob. So we'll start with the 3-ring hob first of all. So you've got your hob which will work off the gas, and then you've got your electric hot plate. So electric hot plate, really easy. that just turns on, and you've got your numbers on the dial to determine the heat. Really handily as well, you get a light that comes on when it's turned on. Obviously with it not being your gas, you can't visibly see when it's on. Last thing you want to do is put your hand on it. It will be hot, it will burn, it will hurt. Turn that off. Let's say now you've got your 3 rings hob, so these are operated by these 3 knobs there. Make sure the gas is on. Turn that, you can hear the gas start to pull through. Press the igniter and you can see the gas turn on, and then just simply use your knob to alter the heat depending on what you want it on, and then turn it all the way off for that. You'll see there are another couple of knobs on the end here. The one on the left is to operate the grill, which just pulls down from there. You'll see underneath, as you turn that round, again press the igniter, you can see the flames come on. Perfect for those bacon sarnies on a Sunday morning. Turn that off, and then finally you've got your oven underneath. Just remember that this does open out sideways, which has caught me out a couple of times when I've tried to open it. Got your hob on the right hand side, again turn it round, press the igniter, and you can see that light up at the back. Again, well built, all really easy to use, and again just make sure everything is turned off when you finish using it. Above the habitation door we've got our motorhome control panel, so we'll just work our way along. Really easy to use. First up, you've got your power button. As you can see, lights have now come on. Just skipping ahead just so you can see what's lit up there, you've got the L, which is for your leisure battery. You did have some lights go up which have now turned off. To get them back on, just press the button again. That will show you what the level of your leisure battery is. If you want to switch it to the vehicle battery, again that will show you it's got full power in there. These 2 are for your water system, so the first button is for your fresh water. You see it's only got 2 bars in, just because simply that there's not a lot of water in the system at the moment. And then finally you've got your wastewater, which is showing as red on there, simply enough because there's no wastewater in the system at the minute. But it's really handy to have that to keep an eye on it all. Just next to the power button you've got your water pump, so that will make sure you're going to get hot water coming through for the shower and for the taps. And lastly, on this control panel here you've got an AUX button, which is actually for the awning light on the outside of the motorhome. Again, just press that, green light will indicate that it has come on, and obviously you'll be able to see that from the outside as well. Also above the habitation door you've got another control panel. Now this is for your Truma heating system and hot water system. Start off on the left hand side. This is for the hot water if you're wanting to run it off the gas. Turn it on, really easy. Spin the silver knob around there to turn on to gas. You'll hear that click in, and there is a green light at the minute just under the 70. This is your temperature gauge then, which just turn the back knob round and have that to whatever temperature you want it setting at. Turn it off, just turn the silver one back to off. Again, you'll hear the system click off and the green light turns off. In the middle you have got a couple of black switches, really simple. These are for various lights throughout the motorhome, which you can't see from that angle, but I say don't be confused, they're not affiliated with the heating system. Next up on the right hand side, this is for your motorhome central heating, which is this part of the system is to be used when it's running off the mains electric rather than on the gas. So again, similar to the hot water, to turn it on you've got 3 options. You've got 500, 1000 and 2000. Now this is the amp level. It will get it to the same temperature, but running it off 2000 as opposed to 500 or 1000 will just get you that temperature a lot quicker. Having the options of different amps is really handy. Some campsites you'll go to will have limited electric coming through off the mains, and then again you've got your temperature gauge here. Really nice and simple to use. Great way to control your hot water and your heating throughout the motorhome. Okay, so now we're moving on to the heating system itself. We open the cupboard doors. Say first of all, you've got a really spacious storage facility in there. If you can see with the camera, if it looks like there's a couple of evil red eyes staring you out, don't be worried. This is for when the vehicle is using the mains electric. You've got your heating and water heater, so just make sure they're both flipped on, and say when they're on, the red lights will be on. Close that up, and then underneath we've got your Truma Ultra Heat radiator system. Now these are excellent. They really do fire out a lot of heat in the motorhome. We tested it earlier. It's quite a warm day. It was boiling with it on, so it's all in great working order. First up, if you're using this system off the gas rather than your mains hookup, you want to be using this switch on the left hand side. You've got numbers 1 to 10, 1 being the coolest, 10 being the hottest. Turn it round, and as you press it in, you can hear it click. Press it all the way down and you can hear the igniter kick in. Now I will say with these systems, if you ever find out that it's not igniting for whatever reason, it's really easy to take this silver cover off, and there is a little battery pack which is for the igniter. Again, really simple to change if you do ever have an issue with it. And again, then just depending on what level of heat you want, just turn it round. I'm going to turn this off for now. As I say, it is really hot at the minute. Across to the right hand side, you've got the switch here which operates the fan. Now this is used whether it's on gas or electric. This will also use the blown air from underneath the benches as well. It doesn't actually generate heat itself, but it will just circulate the heat that's built up from the radiator system. You've got a couple of options. You can either have it on manual by flicking it across that way, and you can hear that start to kick in. If you haven't got the radiators on now like it is, it will just circulate cool air, which again nice to have. Or if you want it on automatic, just flick it across that way, and then what that will do is that depending on the level of heat you've got running through the system will determine how much power goes into the fan. Right, we've now moved into the bathroom area. So along the right hand side you've got a separate shower area. You have got a rail and a couple of hooks that can be used in there to dry your wet clothes when needed. You see your shower head above there, and it's got its own light. Quite spacious actually, plenty of room. Move across, you come into the toilet area itself. So we've got storage cupboard above, another rail, so it's got lighting, decent sized mirror, got window allowing some natural lighting as well. You've got your wash basin, a mixer tap, and then a storage cupboard underneath. And then we've got your Thetford cassette toilet. So the blue button you can see on the left hand side there is for the flush, and just make sure that the water pump has been turned on the main control panel for that to operate correctly. And then underneath you've got the Thetford cassette toilet itself, and really easy to move around as you please. Now if you remember when I mentioned before, when we were looking at the actual cassette itself, when you come to empty, there is a grey lever there which you can see on the left hand side. Now sliding that forwards and backwards will open and close the toilet system itself. So obviously when you're using the toilet, make sure it is open. When you finish, make sure it is closed all the way, and also make sure you double check it is closed before you come to take out the cassette itself and empty the system. Okay, on the right hand side of the motorhome, on the driver's side, above the bench seat in the overhead locker, you've got quite a few controls within here. So first up, you've got your battery status for your leisure battery, and then underneath you've got your solar charge controller for the solar panel, which has been installed on the motorhome on the roof. Obviously, if you're going off grid, it's ideal to make sure you keep that leisure battery with plenty of power in. Next up, big silver unit is the EC225 power supply unit. This has got your trip switches and fuses underneath. If you ever do need to replace any fuses, they're really easy to get hold of at the likes of Halfords. Anywhere like that, you can get what you need. You've got your main on-off switch at the top, currently on at the minute, illuminated in red. And then you've got your button here to check if there's ever any appliances that aren't working at all, to make sure that everything is plugged in correctly with the your mains hookup. If you press that, and you can see the lights have gone out and it has tripped, that means everything is okay at the minute. If for any reason it doesn't, then go and check your mains hookup and make sure everything's plugged in correctly, and then push that back up, brings the power back on, and your lights come on as well. Moving across a bit to the right hand side, this is all linked to the TV aerial. And what the previous customer has actually done within this motorhome is upgraded the TV, which we'll see as we move around a bit later on, which is a lot better than the smaller one that drops down from the ceiling, and it has got its own built-in free view. Just a lot better for when you're parked up and wanting to watch a TV or DVD. In the next cupboard along, you've got your TV antenna, so going up through the ceiling onto the roof. Really easy to control, obviously depending on where you're parked, signals will differ. So you wind it anti-clockwise, moves the antenna vertically, and wind it clockwise and it moves the antenna horizontally. Moving into the cab, as I said before, this is on the Fiat Ducato 2.3 litre engine. It's got a 6-speed manual gearbox. Also, really importantly, on days like today, it has got cab air conditioning. Previous owner upgraded the stereo system to a new Kenwood system. Above there, you've got your reversing camera. This also does twin up as a rear-facing camera, which is on all the time. Some of the reversing cameras will only kind of switch into action when you put the vehicle into reverse. I find these really handy though, especially when you're driving on the motorways, just to keep an eye on what's behind and when you're pulling back in after overtaking, etc. Got cab blinds all the way around, across the big front windscreen and both windows on the side. Really easy, just slide and lock into place. And then finally you've got your controls for electric windows and electric mirrors. So we're still on the right hand side behind the driver's seat. You've got your long bench seat, and this is where I mentioned on the right hand side where the previous owner has upgraded and put a new TV system in. You've then got a really decent size window. Got 4 latches to open, one on the left, 2 on the bottom and 1 on the right, and then the window opens on a ratchet system, and just put it into place. When you want to come close it again, push it up a little bit, drops all the way back down, and again just make sure it's all locked into place. Got your blind which pulls up from the bottom, and then your fly screen which pulls down from the top. So there we go. There is your demo video of this 2008 Autotrail Tracker EKS. Hopefully what you've seen today giving you that little bit more insight as to how everything works, what you need to do to prepare the motorhome, and how to manage and keep on top of things while you're out and about on your travels, which is the main thing. If you've liked what you've seen today, please give us a like. If you've got any comments or questions, comment below and we'll be sure to get back to you. I say, hope you've enjoyed the video, hope you found it helpful. Thank you very much.
Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Please press subscribe at the bottom or like if you're on our Facebook, and watch the latest news and motorhome reviews.
To find out more information, you can go on our website www.webuyanymotorcaravan.com. Telephone us on 01283 240 237.